This is a video to prepare for the Outsiders ISN test. Please make sure everything is taped in and your table of contents is fully completed. This unit, most of the table of contents is completely filled out with our responses to the prompts and the actual prompts, including notes and other activities. Please make sure that the entire table of contents is filled out so you know what pages everything should be located on. On page 14, you should have a completed introduction to the Outsiders activity, where we previewed the book, made predictions, and then also read a little bit about the author, S.E. Hinton. Please make sure you have the Analyze Informational Text questions filled out. On page 15, you should have all of the Outsider vocabulary that we had for each list for the chapters. And on page 16 is chapters 1 through 4 vocabulary list, complete with the textbook definition from the novel, as well as the dictionary definition you looked up. On page 17, you should have a quick write that we did in class. And on page 18, there should be a cast of characters, where you found different definitions and characteristics of these characters and cited it with page numbers. On page 19, there is a daily aphorism, our first one of the unit, and also the daily aphorism directions. On page 20 are the philosophical chair's rules, and on page 21 is a daily aphorism from 2-4. There is also prompt 1 where we broke down the prompt and also did some pre-writing activities. Your response to prompt 1 should be on page 22. You will see my prompts typed, however yours will be handwritten. On page 23, there is a daily aphorism by George S. Patton, and also prompt 2 where we broke down and took text-based evidence notes. Your response to prompt 2 should be on page 24. On page 25, there's a daily aphorism by James Dean, and also a daily aphorism by Roger Ebert. Across from that are notes on symbolism. Again, yours will be handwritten. These are the slides typed and printed. On page 27 is a daily aphorism by George S. Patton, and also prompt 3 broken down, where we located the symbols located in the chapter. Your response to prompt 3 should be on page 28. Page 29 should be a daily aphorism by Chris Jammy, and also prompt 4, we broke down and talked about Johnny's innocence as well as Ponyboy. Your response to prompt 4 should be located on page 30. On page 31, we have our vocab quiz practice, where we wrote a C paragraph using as many vocabulary words as we could. On page 32 is an analysis of the Nothing Gold Can Stay poem by Robert Frost, recited by Ponyboy in The Outsiders. We have on the front first our analysis of the poem, and underneath the art that we created for the poem. On page 33, I have a daily aphorism by Plato. And on page 34 was the Outsiders music activity, where we listened to music from the era and analyzed the lyrics. On page 35 is a daily aphorism from Margaret Mitchell, the Gone with the Wind author, as well as prompt number 5, where we analyzed and broke down, had notes or evidence, and responded on page 36 to prompt 5. On page 37, I have a daily aphorism from 219 by Joseph Campbell, and also prompt 6 is broken down with the character traits. Your response should be on page 38 to prompt 6. On page 39, you should have chapters 5 through 7 vocabulary table, and your C vocabulary practice for those vocabulary words on page 40. Page 41, I have a daily aphorism from Lucy Hale, the actress from Pretty Little Liars, on page 41. And also the prompt 7 we broke down and took notes. Your response for prompt 7 should be on page 42. On page 43, I have a daily aphorism by an anonymous person about communication, and we have prompt 8 as well. Your response to prompt 8 should be on page 44. On page 45, there is a daily aphorism by Henry David Thoreau, and also breakdown of prompt 9. Your response to prompt 9 should be on page 46. On page 47, there is a daily aphorism by Charles Colt, and also a breakdown of prompt 10. Your response to prompt 10 should be on page 48. On page 49, we have a quote by Albert Einstein, also prompt 11. Your response to prompt 11 should be on page 50. Prompt 12 is on page 51, and your response on page 52. On page 53, I have chapters 8 through 12 vocabulary chart, and lastly on page 54, the Outsider movie questions. This concludes the Outsider ISN unit. If you are missing any of these handouts, please look on the School Loop locker on our website or on the daily agendas to print out any of the resources that you may need. Thank you.